Have you ever had the thought that you were going to die if you didn't do something in a specific way, or maybe obsessed over something you did over a year and a half ago? Well, then you may be suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder, or more commonly known as OCD. Over 200,000 people in the United States, including myself, suffer from OCD. There are 4 different types of this disorder: contamination, perfectionism, doubt and harm, and forbidden thoughts. But it is generally defined as having an unreasonable thought and fear that lead to this compulsive disorder. But don't worry, it is completely treatable with medication and therapy. Contamination is what most people think when you say OCD. According to Dr. Jenny Yip on MedCircle, contamination is driven by an underlying fear of contamination or germs, and people will usually go great lengths to avoid situations seen as risky for exposure to contaminants. Contamination can present itself through several different symptoms, such as excessively cleaning and washing hands, or throwing away items that one believes to have been contaminated. The second kind of OCD is called perfectionism. This is defined as when one spends an inordinate amount of time moving, counting, and arranging things to alleviate or prevent distress. Perfectionism can present itself through different symptoms, such as one needing a specific way of organization, an extreme need for symmetry, or an excessive attachment to certain items, or more commonly known as hoarding. Another type includes doubt and harm. Dr. Jenny Yip defines this type of OCD as checking and rechecking. When a person is suffering from this kind of OCD, they can excessively check and recheck windows, doors, light switches, stovetops, ovens, microwaves, etc. Another way this OCD presents itself is one obsessively retracing one's actions throughout the day. The last type of OCD is labeled as forbidden thoughts. These thoughts are often of a violent, religious, or sexual nature that significantly violates the person's morals or values, Dr. Jenny Yip writes. The person suffering from this specific kind of OCD often worries about acting on these intrusive thoughts, engages in mental rituals to ignore or dispel these thoughts, obsesses over religious ideas that feel blasphemous, etc. There are several ways that someone suffering from OCD can be treated. One way is medication. According to Dr. Jenny Yip, it's estimated that medication can provide relief for about 40 to 70% of people. One of the most popular types of medications to treat OCD are antidepressants, or SSRIs. Another way to treat OCD is psychotherapy. Exposure and response prevention has been found to reduce compulsive behaviors in OCD for people who did not respond well to meds. This kind of therapy exposes a person to images or situations to help them be more comfortable with their fears. Another form of treatment is called DBS, or deep brain stimulation. It is defined as a technique that shifts the brain's function in certain ways depending on the area of the brain that is stimulated. Some studies are finding that this can effectively shift one's thought process in a positive way. While obsessive compulsive disorder may be present in many ways, they can all have one common thread: obsession. This can cause the person to suffer immensely. Trust me, I know. In summary, those who suffer from any of the 4 types of OCD are in need of some kind of treatment, because if it goes untreated, OCD can take over your life. Thank you.